but the real story is about 32 crores of Indians, or about 20% of the total population of India, is not eating twice a day. That is below the poverty line. The population below the poverty line is more than the total population of USA. They are not eating twice a day, and we are exporting. So we are thankful to the starving people, our brothers and sisters. They are not eating and we are exporting. It is an unfortunate situation. Both statements are correct. We are self-sufficient because we are exporting. But the other side of the coin says we are exporting because all people are not eating twice a day. This is also a matter of fact of life. Now, in 1961, 62, 63, remember those 3 years, there was a continuous failure of monsoon. And not only in one part of the country, throughout the country, right from north to south, Indian monsoon failed. And I will be teaching you the behavior. Nobody can say what is going to happen. And because of this erratic nature of Indian monsoon, that our planning was started with the planning of agriculture. In the first 5-year plan, there was no emphasis on agriculture and irrigation to make the country self-sufficient. So because of failure of monsoon for 3 years, there were so many deaths. Many people died, and I was in Delhi at that time. Many trains were killed. Dead bodies lying. So this was one very serious setback to the government of India, how to manage and what to do. Secondly, I will give you a very interesting incident, not to be written in the examination. You can mention that there were drought here from 1961 to 1953, continuous 3 crop failures. The second incident was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our Prime Minister, late Prime Minister, was participating in the General Assembly meeting of BNP. He was there, and there was some issue on which our government supported or sided the Soviet bloc. This was, right from the beginning, we were pro-Soviet Union. So some senior person from the West, he sarcastically said to the Prime Minister of India, I mean the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, that Panditji, we are providing food to your population under PL 480. I am sure you are familiar with this agreement, with this pact between India and USA. Public Law 480. That we are providing almost 48% of your food requirement. We are exporting, providing at a subsidized rate. And all the time we are voting for siding the Soviet Union. It will not be possible in future. It cannot continue infinite. So Panditji was heard. And all Prime Minister of India are very important because India is the biggest democracy. But the stature of Panditji at that time, you can imagine, that it was very big and stalwart. When he returned back to India, he convened a meeting of the factory. And at that time, Subramaniam was the food and agriculture from Tamil Nadu. In this meeting, it was resolved that we have to be self-sufficient in the matter of food and we should not rely on USA. Because in the UNO, everybody has one right. Voting right is one, all members have one right. But he realized a person who is borrowing cannot be at par to a person who is giving. A person who is begging cannot be at par to a person who is giving. There are inferior members and superior members. So, under this situation, our government took a decision. We have to start a new agricultural strategy. And the new agricultural strategy is to start the diffusion of new seeds. The diffusion of new seeds, introduction of high-yielding varieties. So the introduction of high-yielding varieties in Indian agriculture is known as green revolution. The sentence to be written, only one sentence. After that, in 1961 to 64, the food situation in India was very bad. And the government of India took the decision that we must be self-sufficient in the matter of food. And this is possible if we go for the diffusion of high-yielding varieties, imported varieties, and the high-yielding varieties give more yield. So after this, the rice varieties were imported from Manila. At Manila, there is International Rice Research Institute, the capital of Philippines. They developed the new seeds. So, from the International Rice Research Institute, the new seeds were imported in India in 1964. The variety was T8, Tai-Chu green, and wheat. New seeds of wheat were imported from Mexico. The variety was Lerma Rosa. Lerma Rosa variety of wheat were imported. When India imported rice from Manila and wheat from Mexico, two important economies from USA, Paddock brothers, they made a forecast or prediction. They made a bhavishyavari that in 1975 the situation in food was so bad. These economists from USA made a prediction that in 1975 Malthus will prevail in India. Malthus, you know who Malthus was, who was the first area of population. He said there will be positive checks from nature. There will be large scale suffering, epidemics, and people will die in a big way. The equilibrium will establish in the population. This was the scenario. Anyhow, when we imported, our government imported the rice from Manila and wheat from Mexico, then there were so many expectations from the new seeds. And some of the expectations I will put point by. So if there is a question on green revolution, we are supposed to write that the diffusion of high-yielding varieties in Indian agriculture is known as green revolution. This sentence is important. The rest, this is for the introduction of this topic. When the new seeds were adopted in 1964, the government of India and the farmers of India expected so many things. This is what were the expectations from the new seeds. merits or advantages of high yielding variety. In the examination, jot down these points wise. You don't have much time in the examination to explain, but I will give some relevant material in my presentation. The first advantage they thought, short duration, economize on them. The new seeds mature or are ready in short period of time. For example, rice is ready in 90 days. The new seeds take only 90 days to mature. The crop is ready in 90 days. From the date of transplantation of rice, it will be ready or mature to harvest in 90 days. The early varieties were taken 120 days, a saving of 30 days. This was one advantage. In the case of Desi Gehu or wheat, our indigenous wheat was taking 5 months, 150 days. The new seeds imported from Mexico, they take only 120 days. So this was the advantage. 30 days this side, 30 days, 60 days saving. So by this short duration, the farmer can obtain a short duration crop. They can go for the intensification of agriculture. The third crop can also be obtained. And when they are obtaining third crop, they will be finding employment, they will be busy. Not only farmers will be busy, the dependent labor will also be busy. So, the first advantage was the new seeds are short duration, economize on land. It means the farmer, instead of growing 2 crops, he can go for 3 crops. There are some crops which are ready in 60 days. You can obtain those crops. The second advantage, it is a rejoinder of the first one. It leads to the multiple cropping or the intensity of agriculture increase. Because instead of 2 crops, he will be getting 3 crops. Where he was getting only 1 crop, he will be able to get 2 crops. So it will lead intensification of agriculture or multiple cropping, then generate more employment. Because throughout the year, the farmer will be busy in the preparation of fields, sowing of crops, irrigation, weeding, then application of fertilizers, harvesting of crop, and carrying this crop to the market. 3 crops or 2 crops he will be busy in. So it will generate more rural employment. There will be more employment in the rural areas, and then he will be having more employment. The problem of rural unemployment will be solved. The youths will not be migrating towards the urban areas in search of jobs. The rural economy will become self-reliant, self-sufficient. The problem of unemployment of rural youth will be solved. The problem of the dependent laborers' children will also be solved because they will also be finding the job. Not only that, it will help the generation of employment in the rural areas. Even when there is supply or selling of grains in the market, anaj ki mandi or grain markets, there will be loading, unloading. That will lead to generation of employment in the towns because the people will be doing loading.